Trump now wants to withdraw from the Ukraine talks if there is no progress soon made in the Russia-Ukraine talks. There's real deep reasons for this. A lot of people think that Trump is doing what Russia tells them to do, or that Trump is not smart enough, or the US administration. None of this is the case. Actually, the opposite is true. See, the scene is set, and this scene has been set for many years now for Russia to go to war against NATO.
Russia appears to be bracing for a direct confrontation with NATO, not a Cold War, not a diplomatic spat, but an actual military face-off. Russian President Vladimir Putin's top spy chief has publicly accused the NATO of increasing its military activity in the border areas surrounding both Russia and Belarus. And this, he said, has prompted both Russian and Belarusian security services to prepare for quote-unquote preemptive measures against NATO countries.
And this scene has been set by the globalists. You have Russia, and you have these NATO countries, Lithuania, Estonia, and these Eastern Bloc countries, Germany, France, and UK is behind them, that really want to go to war with Russia. The plan all along has been for Russia and US to go to war, to destroy each other, and as they go to war and destroy each other, out of the ashes will come out the globalist government, world government. Now, without the US and Russia, which are the two biggest military powers in the world right now, without those two countries being destroyed, the globalists won't be able to truly usher in the new world order and the one world government. And that's why right now Trump, realizing what's being set up for US, he's saying, guys, I'm not gonna be part of this deal. I'm not about to drag US into a nuclear exchange with Russia, because nobody's gonna win in that one. And that's what the globalists want, because these psychos really think they will survive the nuclear war, and then out of the ashes they will be building the new world government, the new society, which will not have obviously Russia or US. It'll be basically a different setup. This is the setup that Trump is trying to avoid. Basically, he's telling the globalists in EU, the Macrons and the rest of the LGBTQ team, that you guys are on your own. If you want to go fight Russia, go ahead and go fight Russia on your own, because listen, I'm not on your team, because you're not on my team either. Ideologically, you're against us. Really, EU is the enemy of US, and that's what Trump realizes. And a lot of people in US realize now that Russia is really not their enemy. Ideologically, Russia is closer to US today than Europe is. Economically, Russia is also close to US. Russia is basically, it is an open, free, capitalistic system. So a lot of things are lining up, and we're going to see a different world coming up where EU becomes an enemy of US, and rightly so, because the ideology in EU is very, very far from the freedom ideology that exists in US. And historically that's been the case, because US got its independence from the European kings and monarchs back in 1776. They got liberated from who? From EU, basically. So we're seeing history repeat, where US for years, for the past years, was being sucked back into the EU orbit, into the English monarchy and into the English orbit. But now we're seeing, uh, it's kind of ironic, but Russia helping and US helping Russia to actually get rid of the EU monarchies. And we're gonna see more of that coming up when basically US takes over possibly Greenland. And the war is going to be, I would say, between US and EU more so. And Trump realizes this. And this is why Trump is going to back out of the Ukraine project, the globalistic Ukraine war. And he's going to actually deal with EU and deal EU a blow that EU won't be able to sustain. And he's going to let Russia do the dealing.